Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing amazing today. In this video, we're diving into the latest updates about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. You don't want to miss this. So make sure to stay tuned till the end, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. When the cameras rolled at precisely 9:00 a.m., viewers expected the usual blend of laughter, light-hearted banter, and the familiar chemistry between Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. Chemistry that had defined their public image for decades. What they didn't expect was silence. A silence heavy enough to freeze the air in the studio long before a single word was spoken. Kelly sat unusually still, fingers locked together, gaze unfocused. Mark's expression was guarded, a hint of tension visible in the tightness of his jaw. The audience sensed immediately that something was wrong. Even the crew, who had worked with the couple for years, exchanged uneasy glances. The transition from the opening music to Kelly's trembling voice wasn't smooth. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't television. It was real life, raw and unfiltered, spilling into a space that was never meant to host this kind of vulnerability. Before we begin today, Kelly started, her tone cracking as she forced herself to breathe. There's something we feel, I feel. We owe to the people who've supported us for so many years. Mark looked at her, surprised but not shocked. It was clear he knew something like this might happen, even if he didn't know when. Kelly took another breath, pressing a fingertip beneath her eye to stop a tear. Our marriage, she said quietly, is at a breaking point. A stunned silence fell over the studio audience. The sound of a camera operator shifting his weight suddenly felt thunderous. Even Mark inhaled sharply, as if hearing the words aloud, in this public space, brought a new weight to them. For decades, Kelly and Mark had been the picture of compatibility, a love story born on set, nurtured in the public eye, held together by shared humor, shared pressure, shared dreams. But as the morning show world knew too well, the image projected to millions rarely reflected the full truth. It's been a really difficult few months, Kelly continued. And pretending everything is perfect here, pretending we're fine, has become impossible. This wasn't a scripted confession. There were no carefully crafted PR lines. Her voice wavered like someone standing on the edge of a cliff, choosing honesty over protection. We've been fighting, she admitted, eyes fixed on her hands. More than we ever have. About time, about priorities, about just life. Mark shifted forward, his voice calm but strained. Marriage is hard, he said softly. And we've always promised each other that we'd never lie to our audience. Not about something this important. Kelly let out a small, humorless laugh. We're great at lying to ourselves, though, aren't we? The audience couldn't help reacting, a mix of laughter and nervous sympathy. It was a line that felt painfully true. Behind the scenes of the breaking point, what viewers didn't know was how truly fragile things had become behind the scenes. Their schedules had taken a toll, Kelly balancing the demands of hosting, production meetings, and public appearances, while Mark juggled acting commitments, family responsibilities, and the constant pressure of being the supportive spouse on live television. They were together all the time, and somehow not together at all. Working together, living together, raising kids, managing everything publicly. Kelly said, voice small, it's a lot. And sometimes we lose track of each other. Mark looked at her, eyes softening. We've always managed to pull through. Every rough patch, every storm. But this one, it's felt different. Different indeed. Their arguments had moved from small disagreements into emotional distance. Words left unsaid turned into frustration. Busy schedules turned into isolation, and isolation turned into something neither of them wanted to name, resentment. Kelly swallowed hard. We've talked about taking time apart, she admitted. A soft gasp rippled through the audience. Mark didn't deny it. We have, he said. Maybe not separating, but creating space. Enough space to remember who we are as individuals, not just as a brand. The admission felt like a second earthquake. The couple had always been tied together, both professionally and emotionally. But now they were acknowledging the cracks that had grown too deep to ignore. The anchor that finally broke. Kelly's breaking point had come 2 weeks earlier, after a long filming day followed by an argument at home. It wasn't about anything dramatic. It never is. It was about dishes left in the sink, a missed appointment, a careless comment. But it escalated. Words sharper than either of them intended. Tears, silence, a night spent in separate rooms. I realized that night, Kelly said, voice trembling, that I was exhausted. Not from work. Not from the show. From trying to hold us together by myself. Mark closed his eyes briefly, visibly pained. And I realized I'd been relying on her strength so much I didn't notice mine wasn't showing up when she needed it. It was one of the most honest moments the show had ever seen. The kind of truth people avoid speaking even in private, much less on national television. A moment of pain, a glimpse of hope. The confession lingered in the air. Heavy, real, unforgettable. But Kelly wasn't finished. "I don't want to lose what we've built," she said, tears finally streaking down her cheeks. "But I also don't want to keep pretending everything is okay when we're hurting." Mark reached for her hand. A small gesture, but one that said more than words. "We're not giving up," he said firmly. "We're acknowledging the truth so we can actually fix it." Kelly nodded, squeezing his fingers. "We love each other. That hasn't changed. It's the noise around us, the pressure, that's drowning everything out." For the first time since the confession began, Kelly lifted her gaze to the audience and to the millions watching from home. "I know so many couples go through this," she said. "We're not unique. We're not stronger or better or more immune to problems because we're on TV. We're just human." Her vulnerability touched something deep in everyone listening. Many viewers at home later said they cried with her. Some said they saw their own marriage reflected in her words. Others simply admired her courage. Mark's promise, and the future they're fighting for. Mark took a breath. "We're getting help," he said. "Real help. Not a Band-Aid. Not a vacation. We're seeing a counselor. We're stepping back from some commitments. We're putting us first." Kelly nodded, wiping her face. "We spent so much time taking care of our careers, our show, our image, that we forgot to take care of the relationship that started all of this." Mark leaned closer. "I love her," he said, voice thick. "More than anything, and I'm willing to fight for us. Even if it means admitting that I haven't been doing enough." Kelly's tears flowed again, this time softer, less heavy. "And I love him," she whispered, "but love doesn't fix everything. Work does, honesty does, trying does." The audience erupted into tender applause. Gentle, supportive, not a performance but a human response to a human moment. After the cameras stopped rolling. When the show cut to commercial, Kelly stayed seated, head bowed. Mark kept his hand on her back, steady and reassuring. Crew members didn't approach. No one asked for retakes or notes or adjustments. The moment belonged to them. A producer later revealed that the segment wasn't planned, it wasn't suggested, it wasn't approved. It was spontaneous, painfully so. But it was real and, in a way, healing. They walked off stage together, the producer said. Not holding hands, but walking side by side. And sometimes that's enough. A new chapter, still fragile, still hopeful. The following days brought a storm of reactions, headlines, social media debates, supportive messages, invasive questions. But Kelly and Mark stayed quiet. They didn't issue statements. They didn't appear for interviews. Instead, they focused on each other. Therapy sessions, long conversations, quiet mornings, honest nights. The kind of emotional work that doesn't trend online, yet matters more than anything. We're not fixed, Kelly would later say, but we're trying. And trying is more than we've done in a long time. Mark echoed the sentiment. Marriage isn't about pretending you're perfect. It's about choosing each other even when things are hard. And that's exactly what they did. Choose each other again and again in small ways, in hard ways, in ways the world doesn't always see. The tearful moment that changed everything, Kelly's on-air confession, became one of the most talked about moments of the year, not because of the drama, but because of the honesty. In a world where celebrities curate flawless images, Kelly Ripa chose truth. Raw, unpolished, painful truth. And sometimes that's the bravest choice a person can make. Her marriage may have reached a breaking point that morning, but perhaps, in exposing the cracks, she also found the light necessary to begin repairing them. Because breaking doesn't always mean the end. Sometimes it's the beginning of something stronger. Stay tuned for all the updates about Kelly Ripa. We are the first to publish all the information about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, so stay with us to get all the latest updates. And stay tuned to our Kelly and Mark report for all updates.